Well, and certainly one of the lessons from my story is you never know how much time you have. I never
That's
expected to die in
exactly
my
right.
50s. Yeah.
That's exactly right. And certainly, planning for the unexpected, that's exactly what we kind of counsel for as well, because exactly like your circumstance, there could be a day where just suddenly something happens to you. And that could be an accident, that could be, a medical diagnosis that is finally kind of starting to take its toll, or some of those kind of slower ones like dementia or Alzheimer's that kind of creep in all of a sudden. And if you wait too long, it can be very difficult to do planning. I tell people all the time that you need to come in and do your estate planning is not when you need it, because at that point it may be too late. Meaning you've received that diagnosis and you're like, oh shoot, I haven't looked at my will or even thought about who could care for my finances and my medical needs if I can't do it myself. And if you've already gone too far into that diagnosis or you've already gone too far down that way, we just can't do anything about that. You have to explore other legal remedies in order to get help versus doing this before you get to that point. And then we have everything we need to immediately jump in and help someone.
Yeah. Well, and I remember, so my dad died of brain cancer. And in some ways, it was a real blessing. There was very little pain, but he had a little bit of a runway. But one of the things we started noticing very quickly was, obviously his brain was rotting, and so there were some deficits, and he became not real good at making decisions.
Yes, yes. And certainly when we start seeing someone moving into incapacity, because it's like you say, sometimes it's sudden, sometimes it's immediate and sudden, and that's the accident that nobody plans for. Sometimes it's a gradual slip. And oftentimes when you see that, that is where we also see the most gray area for financial manipulation, for financial drains on the estate, where money is going places and we don't really know where it is. That's when people can be talked into, sending money to Nigerian princes, right? Things like that. And so it's very, very important to have, someone who can step in, who can kind of get us back on the appropriate course before those big financial drains hit to an estate, because that can be a big depletion. And that of course means that there's less money there to take care of this person in addition to, what will eventually be left to other family members.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things I saw with my folks was my mom had decided she didn't want to live in the house after my dad passed. And for some weird reason, they decided to keep it a secret that they were in the process of buying another house for her before he died. And so his brain is rotting, so not in a real good position to make decisions.
Yeah.
And she's emotionally not in a great place. And some big mistakes were made in that. And that was still alive. I just like, it always puzzled me. It was like, we're here to support you. Why didn't you? I was taking a nap and I was waking up from my nap and I overheard a conversation. And I realized what was
Yep.
going on. It's like, why didn't you pull us in? I'm not going to, it's your money. You can do whatever you want with it.
Mhm.
But we're probably, your kids are probably in a better position to help you think
If they
through some of these
know.
decisions.
Yeah, if they know and they can help. So I agree. And hear me also say everybody's family dynamics is different. So for all that I can say, this is what I would do. I'm coming from a very blessed place of my family I know would be very drama free and would respect my wishes. That's not the case for everyone. But to the extent it makes sense, telling your children or telling the people that you're putting in charge of making decisions